they're not in that foolish mindset now, Now they actually know the truth, and they're actually praying for the people that are still alive. They're actually continually, begging Yahweh to end this way of life, you know. Let me see. I'm looking for a precept that just came to mind. It's Job 3:18. This is a precept. It says, okay, here we go. Job 3, and I'll start at 16. Or as in hidden untimely birth I had not been, as infants which never saw light, right? Those stillborn babies, those babies that die, they're dead when they come out the womb, Verse 17, there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. All right? So dealing with a stillborn baby, it says an infant which never saw the light. Job is saying, hey, this baby would be better off than me. Because Job was going through great troubles. Yahweh chastised him, and he kept his integrity. But, we read here that he's talking about the infants that never saw light and how they're better off. They don't hear the voice of the oppressor. So when your family members die, according to the Bible, they're in a better place. You always hear people say that, right? Always in a better place now. But they don't really believe it, because they're terrified to die. Or when someone dies, they sit there, and some people mourn to the point where it makes them unhealthy, I'm not saying it's wrong to mourn for your loved ones when they die, but if you getting sick over this, then at that point, yeah, you need to check yourself. You're a weak soul, And also you have to consider they're in a better place now. We just read it, The stillborn infant is better off than the man who lives 100 years in an evil, wicked society, Because now how much more corrupt is that man who lives 100 years? Especially if he's never given the truth or understanding of the Bible. So let me go back to Ecclesiastes 4, and we're on 3. And I'm going to read it again. Yeah, better is he than both they which hath not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Right? So it's better to be born as stillborn than to be a king, Especially a king of Babylon like Donald J. Trump, His soul is going to be tormented in the end. Let's go to precept Luke 23:29. For behold, the days are coming in which they shall say, blessed are the barren, and the wombs that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall on us, and to the hills, cover us. You see? So even in that last day, when Yahushua visits the earth, man, he's telling you, hey, people that don't have kids, they're going to be better off than people that have kids, especially the wicked, right? You're going to see your kids die, or your husband, or mainly your children, on the last day of destruction, the day of wrath. It's better that you weren't even born, you see? It's better that you never even had kids, according to Luke 23:29. But people don't believe this Bible, so they're they're not thinking like that. Okay, Ecclesiastes 4, and I'm at 4. Again, I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This also vanity and vexation of spirit. So you may go and work, but yeah, you look across the street and your neighbor is doing better than you. Or even if you're doing better than your neighbor, it's just all useless to the wise, Solomon was wise, and he said, hey, this is a vexation and vanity, a vexation of spirit, meaning it's useless. We go to 1 and 14 precept. Set all in the middle. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. All right, so it don't really matter, according to the wise King Solomon. Verse 5, Ecclesiastes 4. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is an handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Right? So it's better to just have one handful with quietness than have both your hands full with vexation of spirit. And here's another precept. Proverbs 15, and we're going to go to 16 and 17. Better is little with the fear of Yahweh than great treasure and trouble therewith. So it's better to just have a little and fear of Yahweh than have a whole bunch of money and have trouble with Yahweh, right? Or be on his bad side, if you will. You're better off, with the first part of that. Better is little with the fear of Yahweh. Right? Verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. All right? So you're better off eating a salad than having a steak dinner. If you're at peace with the ones you're breaking bread with the salad, then if you're dealing with a dinner table of tension, but you have a steak on your plate, you're going to enjoy that salad more than you are going to enjoy that steak, just because of the tension. You see? Let's go back to Ecclesiastes 7. I'm sorry, Ecclesiastes 1 and 7. Nope, I'm still wrong. Ecclesiastes 4 and 7. It says, Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yet he hath neither child nor brother, yet there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, For whom do I labor, and bereave my soul? This is also vanity. Yeah, it is a sore travail. And let's just look up that word travail. A painful or laborious effort. All right, so now let's go back to. So it says, this is also vanity. Yeah, it is a sore travail. See, so that this is dealing with someone who doesn't have any kids, no family. He's basically just working, grinding your whole life. and you're asking yourself, what is this all for? And saying this is just a, let's look it up again. I just forgot the main. Travail. Painful or laborious effort. See? So it's not only is it vanity, but it's also a painful and laborious effort. So, even working, if you're just working, you don't have no kids, no family, and that's all you do is you go to work, it's vanity and it's a painful, laborious effort. Let's go verse 9. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. That's just common sense. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. And that shows you why the brothers are so important, because for the most part we're all stable in the camp, but woe to him that is alone when he falleth. If you don't have the brothers to pick you up, to encourage you, to exhort you, then you could lie to destruction. You could fall to destruction. Verse 11. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And this one right here, that's just common sense too. You have a woman, you're going to be warm at night. If you don't have a woman, you may not be as warm. But really, this is dealing with more than that. Not necessarily a woman, but that's just the that thought that comes to my mind. Verse 12, and if one prevail against him, 2 shall withstand him, and threefold cord is not quickly broken. So you might get killed if you're just by yourself, and someone tries to come at you. But if you have another person with you, you have a better chance. And then he goes on to say, threefold cord is not quickly broken. Have you ever, tried to rip or break an example would be, like I say, a rope with three ropes, like braided together, and you try to rip that or cut that or break that rope. That's going to be hard because there's 3, the word I'm using, braided together, but this one says a threefold cord is not quickly broken. This shows you the advantage of having that stability, that extra support, 13, better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. And just to hit home with this one, I could think of my little girl, And, I know the man is the most important thing in this truth, and the boys, if you have a son, it's actually more of a, it's a heritage. But when I read this verse just now, I thought about my little daughter who's only 7 years old, but yet she is being brought up in this truth for the most part, I should say, because she has to go to her mother's where they're heathen, But let me read it. Better is a poor and wise child than a old and foolish king who will no more be admonished. So she's better off than Donald Trump in the last day. My little girl who's being raised in this truth. Than an old and foolish king, which fits Donald Trump to a T. He's foolish, Why? Because he's the leader of the wicked right now, Yahweh has put him in that position, and he's old and foolish.